I know zoos can be a very interesting place to visit. It's supposed to be an educational place for children to learn about wildlife. Yeah, you can learn a lot about animals in front of you, but when you want someone else paying someone else to just watch you sit there in distress, animals in captivity go through this every day. At the expense of taking children to view these animals, they're in their most unnatural habitat possible. Not visiting zoos can lead to closure of them and animals set free. I'm going to be talking today about why you should not visit zoos. First, I'll discuss why animals in captivity are living an unhealthy lifestyle due to the lack of space. Then I will go over why you should visit sanctuaries instead of zoos. Let's start with why animals are living an unhealthy lifestyle. Animals need a wide range of space to roam freely. So lack of space for animals means less room to move around, causing them to become overweight and potentially leading to death. James Nolan, journalist of Vice magazine, stated in an article published on June 24, 2015, "To this adversarially affects the animals an understatement. In 2008, a government-funded study in the UK discovered there was a welfare concern over every elephant in the country. 70% of them were overweight and only 16% of them could walk normally. African elephants also live 3 times longer in the wild than they do in captivity. And 40% of lion cubs die in zoos. The death of animals isn't necessarily because of the zoos, but because of the lack of space that the wild actually allows them to have. Animals have less space tend to have unnatural behaviors. Science magazine author Edna Francisco stated in her article, zoos carnivores need more space. The reports given from the magazine Nature that the longer home range required, the higher frequency of pacing and more infant deaths in captivity. Among the worst were the polar bears, which have home range of 1,000 square kilometers or more, 1 million times bigger than their average enclosures that the zoos allow them. Some animals don't belong in small places because of the need for the predators that they are. Now that we know why animals are living this much smaller life because of the lack of space that captivity allows them, let's talk about what we can do to avoid going to zoos. Sanctuaries are available to the public without the sacrifice of animals. You can visit sanctuaries in the presence of wild animals. You can visit sanctuaries to be in the presence of wild animals just like zoos. Doris Lynn, .co.com journalist, stated in her article published on June 26, 2019, that animal rights advocates oppose keeping animals in zoos but support sanctuaries. They oppose keeping animals in zoos because imprisoning animals for our entertainment violates their right to live free of human exploitation. Even if the animals are of endangered species, keeping them in a zoo for the sake of species violates their rights because the good of the species cannot be put above the rights of the individuals. On the other hand, sanctuary rescues animals who cannot live in the wild and can only survive in captivity. Sanctuaries are the best interests of the animals, and us humans can benefit from them by visiting them, just like we would a zoo. Sanctuaries are all over California, even near you. A sanctuary you can visit is in Calaveras, it's only an hour away. The sanctuary is called Performing Animal Welfare Society, aka PAWS, and their homepage, this is what they describe themselves as: forefront of efforts to rescue and provide appropriate human sanctuary for animals who have been the victims of exotic and performing animal trades. PAWS investigates reports of abuse, performing and exotic animals, and documents cruelty and assistance investigation of prosecutions by regularly agencies to evaluate the suffering of captivity wildlife. This place has a lot of refugee animals such as African elephants, African lions, and mountain lions. Clearly, captivity against your own will isn't an ideal situation for anyone. Today we talked about why you shouldn't visit zoos. We went over why animals in captivity are living unhealthy lifestyle due to the lack of space, as well as why you should visit sanctuaries instead of zoos. Before you think about spending lots of money on harmful organizations such as zoos, remember that animals are helped a lot more when needed than more when we try to give it.